peeps? J Forbes Fitness back at it again. Man, it's been a minute since I've been up here, but you know what, life got in the way. A lot of things went down, but without getting into any details, just to let you guys know, boys back, everything is good, healthy, family's good. So today, as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about proteins. All right, so basically what we're gonna talk about with protein is how much intake that you're gonna need in order to gain muscle, okay? So a lot of times, a lot of people get the misconception of thinking that protein is the end all be all. But don't get me wrong, it's a building block and we need that. But at the end of the day, what happens is that not a lot of people can tolerate protein, right? So what I mean by that is usually the magic number is 0.6 grams per pound to consume. So perfect example would be 100-pound male would be consuming between 60 grams to basically 100 grams of protein. So the thing is, what you have to make sure that you keep into place is that you have to make sure that your body is able to digest it. So there's a lot of individuals that when consuming too much protein, they're not able to digest it well, and therefore they feel bloated and they don't feel well. And then, obviously this is where it ruins your kidneys comes into place by various doctor studies and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to discredit any doctors, I'm no doctor, but I'm just saying that this is where some of the studies come from, because
every body is different.
So the thing is that we can't just take a copy paste model and just put it onto every individual. It really is a trial and error that you have to go through to make sure that you can take, let's say 60 grams if you're 100 pounds, or 100 grams if that suits you, right? If you're able to digest it. So if I were to give you a concrete example for myself, I'm the kind of person that I'm about 220 pounds right now. So 220 grams is a lot. So I can get away with about maybe 190 to about 200. And the thing is, when I do consume that, I do see that I have better muscle mass and that I can perform better, obviously with some carbohydrates, but I can perform better, and my muscles, I guess you can say, they're a lot more dense. There's more volume into them, right? So the thing is, that's my example as a male. So for females, same thing applies, because I know that a lot of females, they want to work on the lower body. Obviously, they want to work on the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, more so than the shoulders, back. I know a lot of females do like to work the back, but their emphasis is really the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings. And they can benefit from this as well, to have an increase of protein to be able to develop that area. Now, the thing is, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you are ingesting in protein, you have to make sure that you're actually putting in the work. I'm going to use a female example once again. I know that the majority like to perform 3 to 4 days of lower body movements. Now, if you're putting in that much volume and you're not getting in enough protein, what's going to happen is that it's going to basically eat away of whatever you have the most abundant of, right? So in some cases, if you have more fat, then it's going to eat away at that.
Disclaimer, fat will be the energy source, but it takes 10 times longer without the presence of protein.
And therefore, what's going to happen is you're not going to get the development that you're looking for, because you're working X amount of volume, but you're not replenishing the stores, okay? So that brings me full circle to something called the BMR, right? So this is called the basal metabolic rate. Now, this is extremely important because this is something that you need to know as a base and where you're starting from. I'll give you an example again, deriving from myself. What I did was I thought that I was getting enough protein. See, I was waking up in the morning, I was having my 4 eggs, then I was having a snack with a protein source, having my lunch, so on and so forth, snacking throughout the day. And I wasn't tracking anything, but in my head, I was just like, you know what? I'm getting enough protein. I think I'm getting what I'm supposed to get. Recently, I decided to get one of these fitness apps and to just basically document what I'm eating. So as I began to do that and calculated my basal metabolic rate, I realized that I was severely under eating in terms of what I was doing performance-wise in the gym. Right, so if I'm going to emphasize what BMR is, it's basically going to take your gender, it's going to take your age, and it's going to take your activity levels. It's going to be in a formula. So I use the Harris-Benedict formula. There's tons of other formulas out there. You can just Google BMR, but this is one of the formulas that I used, and it basically gave me what my basal metabolic rate is, right? So in a nutshell, what it is how much calories that you're burning in a 24-hour period without doing anything. So it's just basically how much calories you're burning to essentially keep the lights on, or how many calories that you're burning just being alive and going to your day to day. So this calculation also takes into an effect how much you work out, don't work out, or if you work out a lot. So it's going to have that formula as well as your age, because obviously age is a factor, and obviously gender, and it's going to put into effect, what gender you are, and therefore derive a certain formula for you to follow. So with the number that you're going to get is an extremely important number. Why? Because if you are, let's say basal metabolic rate is, for you to stay active, it's 1,000 calories, just, picking a number out of a hat. If you eat 800 or 600 calories, you're not really going to make any progress. Yes, if you're trying to lose weight, this might help, but only after a certain amount of time, because our body is just meant to survive, right? So when we work out, or when we eat or whatever, our body, basically what it does is it just knows, okay, listen, I got to survive. So you'll see a lot of people that will eat, again, I'll use the example, 600 calories, 400 calories, something ridiculous like that. And then they will drop weight, so on and so forth, for, maybe a month, maybe 2 months if they're lucky. And then after that, it's going to be stagnant. And then in their head, it's going to be like, okay, I got to stop again. I got to drop down my calories. But what's going to happen is your body has found a way to function with the limited amount of calories that you're giving it. So the thing is, it's kind of like a game, I guess you can say. So your body doesn't know that you want, to lose weight. It doesn't know that you want to get abs. It doesn't know that, you want big biceps, or your body doesn't really care about that. All your body cares about is survival mode. So your body is trying to derive after a certain amount of weeks and months, is trying to derive and see, okay, how can I efficiently stay alive with what I'm being given. So whether that be through lack of calories, exploitation of calories, whether that be intense training, lack of training, your body's always going to find a way to try to survive. And if you do that for a certain amount of weeks to months, or so on forth, your body's going to be very, very smart and efficient, and then you're going to stop making progress, right? So this is where your metabolism comes into play. So that's why what I used to give to my clients, and they looked at me a little weird, especially females, was to have 6 feedings per day to regulate the metabolism. So not 6 meals, but 6 feedings. So 6 times that you're eating: breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and so on and so forth, right? Just so that, and it could be in the shape of a shake as well, right? In the shape of a shake. So the thing is that regulates your metabolism, speeds it up, gives you something called a thermogenic effect, and then you kind of start to burn. So I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not, I didn't study nutrition. I did read a lot about it, but I'm not a certified nutritionist, so I don't want, anyone to come for me for the information that I'm telling you guys. But this is actual information that I've gotten from literature, and what I've gotten from practicing with my clients. Back to the protein patients. Now, the thing is, what you have to make sure that you do is, again, like I said, you have to make sure that you maximize your volume and then eat to repair. Because the thing is, if you're working out and you're getting it into the gym, right? So you're going 3-4 times a week. You're doing the typical bodybuilding split, so that's a lot of volume, and you're not getting enough protein. You're gonna basically break down your body more than build it up. Because the whole point of working out, and a lot of people seem to miss this, I missed this when I was younger, was recovery. So you're not supposed to just work yourself to the ground Monday to Sunday. All right, you're supposed to work out intense, but then able to scale it back through nutrition, through sleep, and lifestyle, as opposed to just going on and on and on and on. Because basically what you're doing is, when you're working out, you're actually breaking down your muscle tissue. So you're breaking down your muscle tissue so that it can get bigger. So again, going back to what I said, it's like a survival mode. So the thing is, you're breaking down your house so that you can build it stronger, so that when you go ahead and give it that stimulus again, it's going to know what to do. Because if you just go ahead and just break it down, it's not going to have an opportunity to get bigger. It's not going to have an opportunity to build. It's not going to have an opportunity to, lose the weight if that's your goal, because you're just feeding it too much stimulus. As some of you may or may not know, that working out emits a hormone called cortisol, which is a stress hormone, right? So when you've got 200 pounds for a bench press and you're coming down and up, your body's stressed. Your body's trying to figure out a way of, how am I going to survive? And it emits this hormone. Want to make sure that you do is, as you're doing that, you go ahead and have an ample ample recovery period. Because if you keep on doing that day in and day out, then what's going to happen is you're not going to make any progress. You're going to be something that we call spinning your wheels, and you're just going to be frustrated, and then you might eventually want to quit because you don't think that this is working out. You know, there's a lot more that I can cover in terms of carbohydrate intake, in terms of fat intake, but today I really want to focus on the protein and the BMR, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it is that you're going to require if you want to, again, like I said, either get bigger or get smaller, right? So obviously if you're, again, we're gonna use the example of a female trying to build her glutes, her quads and her hamstrings. Now, if you're in and out of the gym 3 to 4 days a week and you're trying to build these areas, now what's important is that you do get enough protein, 0.6 to a gram per pound of your body weight. So let's say, again, we're using our example, 100 pounds, try to get 60 grams to 100 grams per day in your protein intake. Now, let's say you're doing that and you're working out very, very efficiently. If you don't want to increase in size, and let's say, you know, the waist, or let's say the shoulders or the back or whatnot, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do a little bit of a steady state cardio, which is uphill walking. You know, walking. It's a beautiful day, so just walking in a park or whatnot, maybe 10 minutes a day. You're gonna have to do that if you want to keep body fat, because although it is hard for protein to be stored as fat, it's still possible, right? If you eat enough of it, and you know, let's say you're doing all the right things, you're working out, you're busting, your butt and stuff like that. If you don't have a little bit of a type of steady state cardio, then chances are that you might build up in other areas that you don't want to build up, right? And so therefore, you're gonna have to make sure that you do a little bit of a steady state cardio. And like I said, it could be as simple as walking, uphill walking, treadmill walking. You know, personally, I should be doing it more, but when I do it, that's what I do. I don't do anything intense. The only time I do anything intense is on my days off of my power building training. Power building / powerlifting, bodybuilding. Power lifting on the main lifts, bodybuilding on the smaller lifts, biceps, triceps, shoulders, so on and so forth. So the thing is, what you need to do, and I'm speaking to my females here, what you guys need to do is a steady state cardio so that you don't build up the other areas, because obviously I know females, a certain amount of you want to keep that feminine shape, so you want to make sure that you're not big and bulky of the upper body, because I know you want to have the defined glutes, the hamstrings and the quads and stuff like that. This brings me to another kind of subtopic of what I want to talk about. So the thing is, I mean, a lot of people might get offended with this, but a lot of times females when I had in the past, they would be scared, and I see right now that females are getting into the game, lifting heavy, not really caring, because they can see the results. They're getting to see the results either from their friends or from their favorite Instagram influencer, or whatever it may be. But a lot of females still have this stigma that if they do lift heavy, or if they lift any weights above 5 pounds, they're gonna bulk up, right? So there's a lot of females that will say, you know what, man, when I get into the gym and I lift a little bit more than I should, I see that I'm bigger. You know what I mean? I'm muscular and stuff like that. And the thing is, what you're probably referring to is the pump, so more blood flow to the muscle. So this is not going to stay, right? So if you are doing, let's give an example, bicep curls into the gym, right? And you're doing a bit more than 5 pounds, and you see your bicep is a little bit bigger in that given moment, give it about an hour or two, and it's gonna go back down, okay? So this is not, you're not going to be, She-Hulk. You're not gonna transform into something that you couldn't imagine overnight. And the way I can break this down is that a lot of men are busting their butt to get muscle, and they're really trying their hardest. They're in and out, they're grinding, and they have an abundance of testosterone, and they can't get to where that they're bigger. So for females that don't have as much testosterone, you guys have more estrogen, it's kind of impossible for you to surpass what the male wants that has a testosterone, and just bypass him and get big, because he's fighting, he's trying to get big. You're doing a couple of curls and think, oh my God, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? So basically that's all that is a pump, and in bodybuilding we call it chasing the pump. And for females, I just want you guys to understand and know that you're not going to overnight wake up and just all of a sudden be green, purple ripped shorts and just be jacked. All right, if you continue the process of working out, lifting heavy, lifting with a lot of volume, you're going to be lean, especially if your diet is in the right place. You're going to be lean and you're going to be able to have the physique that you want, right? So don't be scared, lifting a little bit heavier, because scientifically, females can bear more pain than we can. Obviously, you know, they are child bearers. In the workout world, they can recover a little bit quicker than we can as males. So they can go day in and out and do more legs. That's why you see these females doing legs, you know, 3 to 4 times a week now, because they're able to recover a lot quicker. Okay, so you know, don't be scared. Don't be scared. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I went on a lot. I probably derived a little bit off of my protein topic that I wanted to stay on, but that's the thing. Once I start, you know, the floodgates open. Feels good to be back. I'm happy to be back. You know, for all the people that stuck around in my hiatus, I appreciate you. And everyone that's tuning in, I'm going to try to do this weekly. So I'm going to get back on my horse, and I'm really going to try to fire up some informational videos for you guys. And you know, I appreciate your patience. Thank you so much for, again, like I said, the people that have been supporting me. I know it's been a minute, and you know, I had a lot of personal stuff going on in my life, some stuff still going through, but this channel is not about that. This is all about fitness. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in, showing me your support, showing me your love. I really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, without further ado, you know what it is. Fitness is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle.